Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Industry Buzz podcast powered by Buzztime, where we talk about all things regarding the bar and restaurant industry with experts from around the country to help you improve your business. My name is Adam Marsden. I'm the Digital Marketing Assistant Manager at Buzztime, and I'll be your host for the second episode of our podcast. Today, we will be discussing customer acquisition with Nick Fosberg, the owner of Bar and Restaurant Success. Nick, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm good. You?
I'm doing great. Thanks. So thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. To get started, do you mind introducing yourself to our audience? Maybe tell them a little bit about your background and what you're doing at Bar and Restaurant Success.
Yeah, so pretty much I've grown up in the bar restaurant business my entire life. My dad's had bars for 45 plus years. Started off in the kitchen working for him at 13, worked my way up. By the age of 26, he came into the office one day, says, I'm going to sell this effing place. I'm sick of it, this and that. And that's when I offered to buy it from him. Took about 8 months to make that happen. Had to go find some private money, what have you. And luckily he financed about 100 grand of it for me.
Oh, nice.
In order to make that happen. And long story short, I knew how to manage the bar and do everything. 8 months after owning the bar, I was writing a check out to our bud rep. I'll never forget this. And realizing I didn't have enough money in the account to pay the invoice, I wrote it, gave it to him anyways. Didn't want to, I just had that shame in me. Anyways, from that point, it was like, if this keeps happening, keep going at this route, I'm not going to be open much any longer. And I knew I had to get more customers in the door, common sense. And that took marketing. Well, I was already spending $1,000, $1,500 a month on marketing, TV, radio, newspaper, social media. I mean, I was running Facebook ads 10 years ago, but it wasn't working. Pretty much I was just shouting out my specials and promotions, had no clue where people were coming in from. And so I became a student of marketing, got online, just started learning everything that I could about, different marketing strategies that weren't being used in our industry. Long story short, I started learning more about direct response style advertising, where you could track and measure your results, put specific offers out there, know what you spent with that marketing channel, how many people came in the door, how much money did they spend. And as we were doing this with these offers, I was building a database, building a list of customers. So when I had hired this marketing coach, he says, building a database of customers is the most profitable thing you could do. Could you get someone to raise their hand and say, hey, I want to do business with you. Here's my information. Send me that offer. He says there's nobody else more profitable in the world to remarket to in the future about other specials and promotions. Started doing that, started applying, booking parties and events using this style of marketing as well. 8 months later, pretty much doubled my business. And that was like the big wake up call to me. Went from doing about 40 grand a month in sales to 80 grand a month in sales, which is good for that area. I still have that same bar, Casey's Pub. And he gave me the idea. He says, Nick, why don't you teach other bar restaurant owners outside your area on how to apply these promotions and strategies and what have you. So the entrepreneur, and he says, sure, and went through and started working with bar owners. They're all old enough to be my mom, my dad at that time. And so I pretty much started working for free, just saying, hey, I just want to test this out. You can pay me 30 days later. Long story short, I just started creating case studies, started working, and I just enjoyed helping more people doing that kind of stuff. And I then had to learn how to stop working 50, 60 hours a week in the bar and now start doing this full time because I had more fun with it. And that's when I started Bar Restaurant Success about 8 years ago. And since then, I help bar and restaurant owners with their marketing promotions, take the stress and frustration off of their shoulders of what to do, how to get people in the door, and just pretty much bring them in their doors for them and tell them, hey, you focus on the customers, give them a good in-house experience. You do that side, I'll bring them in and we'll keep them coming back. And so that's what I'm doing now. And then I've had a couple other bars over the last couple of years, and then just started Fozzie's Bar and Grill. We opened up in August. So we've been out 6-7 months now and planning on licensing that concept in the next year and want to do 10 locations in 10 years.
Oh, wow. So how many locations do you have currently?
Right now, just 2. We're looking at another one in Spring Hill, Tennessee, actually. So hopefully we'll get that one going in about 6 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Well, so for many bar and restaurant owners, they may not know actually where to start with say, like a marketing plan. What would you say is the best way to approach for someone who say maybe hasn't actually started their own marketing plan, just to get into the planning stages of what might be the best way to get going?
Yeah, so it all depends. Are you trying to acquire new customers? Are you trying to get existing customers coming back or not? And kind of the big question I always get, it's always, how do I get more customers in my door? How do I get more customers in my door? And so honestly, it's not that hard. And I'll kind of go through, the kind of some of the myths in the industry about,
Sure.
acquiring customers and what have you. But to get new customers in the door, it's really, really simple. Put out a good enough offer out there that's going to pretty much bribe people to want to walk into your doors and put it in front of the right people. So the way that I do this, and that's kind of what I start doing when I start working with clients, it's come up with a great offer. Sometimes we'll do something 50% off or buy one, get one. And I know people in the industry, experts will say discounting hurts your brand. True and false. If you just go out and say, hey, we're doing 50% off today all week, come in. Yeah, that could hurt your brand. You sound desperate, right? But if you come out, it's all about the messaging, how you approach that offer, right? And I like to give the example, let's say you're in Vegas at the nicest restaurant there is, 5-star, and the owner comes out after you're paying the bill, and he comes up to you and says, hey, we got this new 5-course meal that we want to try out. We're doing it tomorrow. We've never served it before. I want to invite all of you guys back in, a table of 6 for this dinner, and I'm going to buy. Okay, you don't pay anything. I just want your feedback. Would you mind coming in and giving us your feedback? Would you walk out of that restaurant thinking, wow, this guy's desperate, or that's going to hurt his brand? Absolutely not.
No.
So it's all about the messaging of when you present that offer, because the better the offer you put out there, the more people you're going to get in the door. So what I like to say is, hey, we got a goal to get 100 brand new customers in our doors in the next 2-3 weeks. We came up with this great offer. Let's say 50% off your tab, good up to $20 off, something to break even on the front end, because I like to think about the lifetime value of a customer. And the reason why we're doing this offer is, number one, we want to give back to our loyal customers who've been so loyal to us. That's our thank you to them. But also, we think this is a good way to get new people in the door, another 100 new customers in the door. When you come in, you're going to have a great experience. And we expect that from that great experience, you're going to want to come back time and time again. Our goal is to turn you into a loyal repeat customer. When you have that kind of messaging and reason why behind why you're doing this offer, that's only going to empower your brand, bring more new customers in the doors. Now, the key is to that, in order to make money from that type of offer for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road, you need to use direct response style advertising, lead capture, of driving them to a one-page website, get them to hand over their information. When they do that, now they get the offer, but now you can use that email, that cell phone number to follow up with them in the future about other specials, promotions, communicate with them, to get them back in the door in the future. And that's primarily the easiest, fastest way to get more customers in the doors. That's the exact offer I used when I was struggling with Casey's to get new people in the door. And I just, and that's what my marketing coach taught me. He says, build a list. The bigger the list you have, the more money you can make. You could send 2, 3, 4,000 emails out at one time about a promotion or a party booking promotion, and book 20, 30 parties of people who will bring in 20, 30 people at a time and spend zero money on marketing. So it's all about the strategy there, but the back end strategy of where you make all your money. But putting a great offer out there, you put 10% out there, or 50%, you're going to get more people. Now, you don't want to attract the coupon cutters either. I hate coupon cutters who come in and just drink water, right? So you put the right restrictions in place as well. So if I'm ever doing a BOGO offer or something like that, I'm going to say, hey, you also got to buy $5 in beverages in order to get this offer, because that's going to weed out the cheap people. Yeah, you get less redemptions, but you attract the people who plan on spending money. So it's all just, how do you craft offers in a way where you're giving them a good value, but you're also figuring out a way to break even on the front end, and also getting people to spend some money with you that weeds out the cheap people, and that's one thing I've tested and tried over time.
Yeah, I think something that people forget is that not all customers are the right customer, right? You always want to find maybe specific customers who, exactly like you said, people who are going to come back often, not just come in, use your coupon the one time and never come back.
Yeah.
So what would you say, I know you mentioned 1 or 2 of those, but what would you say are maybe the most successful offers either you've done or that you recommended to, say, some of your clients?
Honestly, the one that I do with 99% of my clients, we will start off with the 50% off, get up to $20 off, because that is an offer it's a broad offer that works for anybody, versus doing a buy one, get one burger. Some people don't eat burgers, right? Or some people might not eat pasta or whatever it may be. But when you do a percentage off on a tab, people know that they can come in and order anything off your menu, and it entices more people to come in. So that's more of a broad type of offer that works really, really well, that more people will use, is a percentage off on a tab. So that has always worked really, really well. Also doing like small groups of 4, bring in a group of 4 people, and we're going to give you 25% off on your bill. And just do it on the food, for example, if you're doing this for a bar or whatever. Well, you give 1 free meal away pretty much. And so buy 3, get 1 free, 25% off for the food. And then you're hoping that, hey, and tie the restriction that everyone has to purchase a beverage, or everyone has to purchase at least 2 beverages. And I know states like here, I'm in Illinois, we can't say you have to buy 2 alcoholic beverages, right? But
Sure.
if we wanted to make sure we're trying to target drinkers, we could say, hey, spend at least $5 in beverages in each, and you get this discount, right? So
Sure.
our pops, at least at Fozzie's, are $1.75. In order for them to get that, they're gonna have to order 3 Pepsis, right? But if they order a beer or a couple beers, that's gonna, cover the cost. So it's just, again, structuring the offer in a way where it gives them a good value, but also makes you some profit and attracts people who are willing to spend money with you.
Okay, great. So yeah, definitely putting some sort of restrictions on there can definitely help you out.
Yeah.
So next, I kind of want to go over sort of the different channels that you think are really the most successful. I noticed on your website, you said, quote, "If you don't want to spend money on advertising, you're not going to enjoy my stuff." So definitely you seem to be a fan of using paid advertising. What would you say in your experience are the most successful, say, paid channels like Facebook, Google, et cetera, that you think are best for using in bars?
Facebook. When it comes to attracting brand new customers, I would use Facebook over anything. Yeah, word of mouth is good. That's free. If you want to get 100 customers in your doors in 30 days, Facebook would be the way to go. Unfortunately, Facebook changed a lot of laws recently in the targeting. Before, you could target people based on what they were buying on their debit and credit cards. So a year and a half ago and before, you could literally target people if they were buying beer, wine, liquor on their debit and credit cards, if they were buying food at other bars and restaurants. But it's still very profitable today. So that in Instagram, and then if it's getting new customers or existing customers back in the door, email. You get a 43-to-1 return on email marketing. That is by far my favorite method. A lot of people say email marketing doesn't work. You're right, it doesn't work. Neither does Facebook, neither does Instagram, when you don't know how to use it,
Exactly.
But if you are talking, or when you're using email, the key to email is you need to write to one person. You're not writing to 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people that are on your list. You're writing to Bob, right? That one person. And I always like to get very personal. I will talk, if it's over the holidays, what I did with my kids, my wife, did we go somewhere? Let them in on your life. Get them to feel like they know you on a personal level, even if they've never met you before, because the truth is, and the fact is, people do business with people who they like and trust. So you got to create that likability and build relationship with people through the marketing, and talk to them as, use the word "you" in the emails as you're talking directly to that person. If you're going to go write an email to me or write an email to your best friend, you would write that completely different than if you were writing it to the masses. So it all depends on how you write your emails, how often you communicate with them. I write an email a week to my customers at both bars, Monday through Friday, or either Monday or Tuesday. I get that out. I might miss a week here and there. Summer times, when there's down times, at least where I'm at, and there's absolutely nothing going on, I won't even send something out at times. But for the most part, I would say I send out at least minimum 48. Well, some weeks I send out 2, but at least 50 emails per year to my customers.
Okay.
Just stay in contact with them,
Sure. And what would you say are like your list sizes for these types of customers? So the actual amount of emails that you're having to be able to send out.
It varies. At Casey's, my one bar, we have about, I think it's 6,800 people. Fozzie's the new one.
Oh, wow.
We're at 3,500. But that's also us cleaning our list, so we do that on a regular basis. I always ask people, hey, if you don't want to receive these emails, click this link, opt out. It's not about the size of your list. In a way, it's about the size of your list, but more importantly, it's about the relationship you have with the list. I could care less about a list of 10,000 people who don't want to hear from me. I'd much rather have a list of 1,000 who are eager to know what's going on. So that's the key. And you just got to have a consistent, communication with these people in order to keep them opening. It also depends on the subject line. the most important thing I could say about the subject line is don't give it away of what's in the email. You got to draw in curiosity in order to get them to be like, oh, what's this all about? So that's the key, learning copywriting and what's going to trigger them to look at this and be like, oh, what's this about? I need to find out more, right? Or a simple little one I've used a lot is, hey, got a little secret to tell you. Someone sees that and they're like, what's this about? But then you got to write the email in a way where you got the secret of, hey, we're going to do this offer next week. Be on the lookout for it. I'll be sending it next Monday just to kind of get them started and looking for it. But you never want to manipulate people, but you want to be crafty with your messages and your subject lines in order to get your emails open, because people do receive a ton of emails a day,
Absolutely.
So that's the key. It's building a relationship with them and using the right subject lines in order to get it open. Because if your email doesn't get open, it's not getting read.
Exactly. Yeah. And then kind of talking to one of the things you were kind of mentioning, and we talked about a little bit earlier about not all customers are maybe the best customers, right? So getting people who are maybe a little bit further down the marketing or sales funnel. And just to describe this for our listeners, for those of you who may or not be familiar with this. So if we're looking at, say, a sales funnel, right? So people at the top are people who are maybe not aware of your product yet. So we're trying to get them to be aware of a bar and restaurant from the beginning. They may have never heard of it. And moving them down to the interest level where they have heard about your bar and restaurant, but maybe haven't actually gone there before. Then down to the consideration level where they're actually thinking about going to your bar and restaurant. And then down to intent, where they actually are going to walk through the door, to finally down to the purchase level, right? So obviously for an industry like the bar and restaurant industry, having customers that are maybe further down that funnel in the consideration or intent level, where they're closer to the purchase, is more successful than, say, like you said, having a list of 20,000 people who are just aware, but maybe not actually use those, maybe some of the offers you're sending them in the emails.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So great. So kind of getting back to what you were talking about with Facebook. So let's say, try to give our listeners maybe an example of so if I'm running a Facebook ad, what am I trying to put in that ad? What are maybe, say, like the targeting aspects, right? You talked about you're getting some of these lists. Are you focusing solely on, say, remarketing? So people that you already have, maybe their information, so that you can create these custom lists, or you're doing maybe more brand awareness where you're giving that 50% off. Can you maybe just give us an idea of what an ideal Facebook ad would be for you?
Yeah, so it all depends on your goal, right? If you're going after new customers, customer acquisition, top of the funnel, that's where we're putting that lead generation offer out there, where we can make them aware of our business, and we're trying to target new customers, and we'll go after more of a broad market. And what we could do is we could upload our whole email list, upload our phone list as an audience in Facebook, and say, okay, we want to hit all these people of this age, this demographic of, who like bars and restaurants, that are within 5 miles around my specific address, but I want to exclude putting ads in front of people I already have their information for, people that are in my VIP program. So that would be more of something where I'm putting out that offer, right? And then there's what I call my warm list. So I'll create an audience inside of Facebook that is grouped together of all the people who I have their email addresses for, cell phone numbers for, have hit my website in the last 90 days, have engaged with my Facebook page in the last 90 days, or have engaged with my Instagram page in the last 90 days. I'll put all those people into one core audience. And then if I'm trying to keep, I'm always just trying to stay front of mind. And I will, let's say for Taco Tuesday, for example, we just got done doing a 4-week promotion where if they came in and for every taco they got a ticket, we would, and then on just this last Tuesday, we did the giveaway, the big prize, where we pulled the ticket. We gave away a trip for 2 to Mexico. They could choose from Cabo, Puerto Vallarta. Literally doubled our Taco Tuesday for those the last 3 weeks of the promotion, and then the very, very last week where we pulled, it was just pretty much tripled our sales from doing it. So what we did there was we ran ads, not really to new customers. We ran ads just reminding people, hey, this Tuesday, remember, Taco Tuesday, you have a chance to win. And then we updated our ads. Remember, this is the day. This Tuesday, we are drawing. You have the chance to win this trip to Mexico. So, I will always warm ads to them. If we have bands coming up or anything, I focus more on any kind of weekly specials and promotions. I put those in front of people who've had an interest in doing business with me, aware of my business, have done business with me. Anybody brand new, it's 100% lead generation where I can track what it costs to get a lead. And what we've done through our marketing system is, again, I don't use chat bots and ManyChat and all that kind of stuff because Facebook controls that. They had shut them down for a while, about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I'll never let big tech own my marketing strategy. So
Sure.
that's why I'm always big on just focusing on email and text message, because I own that media, right?
Sure.
So what we'll do with that is, like with all the lead generation, I will just focus on trying to get those emails, cell phone numbers, and then using that as far as, trying to drive people back in the door with that front end offer. But when they use that, what I was getting at was when they use that front end offer, we're able to just click a button in that email. When, like, let's say it's a BOGO offer, for example, they give it to the server, they give it to the bartender hits that button, they put in a security code into that form. So then they put in the check number, total amount on the bill, rounded to the nearest dollar, no decimals or whatever, after discount. All that goes into a spreadsheet so we can see all the redemptions, total sales for that month. And then we look at our Facebook ads and say, okay, we spent 500, but we made back 3,800, so then that way we can track, is it working or is it not working? And I do that for a lot of different promotions. Like we just did one called Spin the Wheel. So I had my developer create something and we came up with 3 different offers, and we told people, I did a video on Facebook saying, hey, we got this new digital promotion for you. It's called Spin the Wheel. You could either win a free meal, a free appetizer, or a free appetizer package for up to 6 people. Click this link, takes them to a landing page, enter in your information, had a spinning wheel on there. When they entered in their information, it took them to a page where this wheel kept spinning for 5 seconds. And then they were selected a winner. So that was another lead generation style ad as well, where we're collecting information. And then when they come in to use that offer, again, same thing, click to redeem, put in the check number, put in the amount. So then that way we could track all the sales coming in from the money that we're spending on ads. With more the awareness style, the branding style of ads, we can't track that. But that's why I spend very little money marketing to the warm audience, because here I'm only hitting 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people versus trying to hit, 50,000 people, for example, in a given area. So that's the difference in the way that I spend money on ads for Facebook.
Okay, great. And one thing I wanted to touch on that you mentioned is using SMS, actually text messaging. I know some people feel that may not be as successful because it's almost like you're invading people's privacy, but at the same time, it can be very successful. Can you maybe talk a little bit about your SMS messaging strategies?
Yeah, so I used to think the same thing. So when people sign up for my first offer for anything, any kind of lead generation, even if it's just a sign up to our VIP program, I ask for first name, email, and birth date first, because then I can put them into our birthday program. Then it takes them to a page saying, great, would you like to receive other free offers, discounts, and specials each and every month by text? If so, put in your number. So thinking with that mindset that they are saying, yes, here's my information. I want this. I want you to text me. If you text every day, it's people, right? But you just also tell people when they first sign up, hey, if you ever want to stop receiving emails or texts, let us know. We'll take you out. It's that easy. We're not here to annoy you. We're here to deliver value. If you move away, what have you, move far away, where you're never going to come back, let us know. We'll take you out. So it's important to say that within the very first message. But yeah, texting, I send 1 text a week, sometimes 2, depending on what big events we have going on. But no, it's people are giving us the information to receive that. If you were just asking for phone number and not telling them that you're going to send them text messages, then yes, that would be intruding, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah, of course. And like we talked about with the email list, you should never feel, when people opt into that type of stuff, you should never feel bad about sending them things. Obviously, if you're not sending them stuff, every day, but if you're sending them once or twice a week, having a large database it doesn't help you at all if you're just letting that database sit there, right? You need to actually use it. So that's, I think, an important note for some bar and restaurant owners. I definitely want to get to the tracking and kind of the data aspect of it a little bit later, because I think you have some important things to talk about that. But I want to stay kind of on the paid, owned and earned media a little bit. Real quick, so do you feel that Google advertising is successful for you at all, or do you stick to mostly Facebook advertising?
Where I am at, so this is how I feel about Google. You definitely want to have a Google business page up. People are going to Google, not Yelp anymore, to find businesses. So like if people are out of town or whatever, they are going to Google. You want to have a good Google business page. That's the number one platform to go to. As far as ads go, I am not in an area. I'm in Rockford, Illinois. A few years back, we were rated the third worst city to live in the entire United States. So that was in Forbes magazine. So I like to joke around like there's not too many tourists coming here.
Sure.
For me, no, I don't run too many Google ads. If I had a big banquet center or something like that and people are looking for parties, I would definitely do that to try to book that kind of stuff, but I don't have that. If I was in downtown Chicago, I would definitely be running some ads of people running or searching like good bars to go to near me, or good Italian restaurant to go to. Yeah, I would want to be at the top of the search engine for that. So if you're in a tourist area where people are actually on their phones looking for that, but here, I mean, I could ask 20 of my friends, and hey, would you ever get on Google searching a bar around here, a restaurant? Absolutely not, because they know everything that's around here, So that's the difference. If you're in a smaller area, I don't think you need to be on there. However, YouTube is a different story, because you can target people on YouTube in your area. You could, just like a Facebook ad, hey, I want this video to pop up in front of anybody within 5 miles of this age, gender, what have you, to pop up as a pre-roll before they watch their next video. So, Google is obviously owns YouTube. YouTube ads, local market or what have you. Yeah, that's another good place to be, of just putting a short little video. And anytime I'm doing them, I like to start off, if it's not a retargeting ad, but going after more of a broad audience, I like to say, hey, do you live in Rockford? Do you live in the Rockford area? So it stops them, because nobody's really running local YouTube ads at all. So when they're watching YouTube and they see ads all the time or whatever, they're used to seeing corporate stuff or big brands that are marketing all over the world or the United States. So to call out to that person right away and be like, hey, do you live in Rockford? If so, listen to this. They're gonna be like, whoa, and then you're getting their attention. The first 3 seconds, 5 seconds is critical to get their attention. So going with Google ads, yes, and make sure you call them out of where they live to get them to stop. Or, hey, live in Rockford and enjoy going to bars, restaurants. I got something to tell you really quick, or I got a great deal for you. So yeah, so that's what I'd say about Google.
Okay. And then just one more thing, just talking about some of the channels. So we talked about the paid advertising, but now looking at, say, owned media and earned media. So for those of you who aren't familiar, owned media would be things such as like your website, your social media channels, say, for example, a blog. Earned media would be, say, for example, you're posting on your social media channels, actually getting mentioned, shares, and reposts. Those would be the earned media. And then also, like you talked about, reviews on Yelp, Facebook, and Google, because you earn those with your service. What's kind of your opinion on the best strategies to use those? Do you think those are a successful way? I know you mentioned on your website that you didn't necessarily think maybe free organic social media was maybe the best way to put your money. Can you maybe just talk a little bit about those different channels?
Yeah, so I hate when I'm talking to a bar or restaurant owner over the phone and, hey, what are you doing for marketing? Oh, I do Facebook. Okay, what do you do with Facebook? Oh, I post on my Facebook page. Are you running paid ads? No. Okay. 5 years ago, posting to Facebook was a great strategy, because you would get views. Our Facebook ad expert I was talking to yesterday on our group call, I think he says 4% of people who like your page actually see your post. So if you are trying to grow your business and increase sales, posting to your Facebook page is not going to do it. Yes, you should still do it to keep your page relevant, but people are not getting on their phone saying, okay, I'm going to go check out this bar. Very few. Some people do to see what entertainment and stuff they have going on, what bands they might have coming up in over the weekend. But most people, I don't know the stat, but I know it's at least 90% or higher, are just scrolling through the news feed of seeing what.
Yes.
And the only way to get in the news feed to show up in front of the masses is with paid ads. So yeah, do it. I don't do any of my own social media postings. The free postings, I have my manager do it each day. They do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And then they'll do the same thing with Instagram just to post. It's not worth my time. It's not worth any owner's time they have much better things to put their money and time towards, which is, either paid advertising or whatever else it is, maybe that they're doing, creating other systems, processes in their business to make it run a little smoother. But that's my take. Yes, you have to do it. The owner should not be spending the time to do it. Give it to a manager to do $10 or 10 minutes a day of posting the specials and whatnot. Getting reviews, very, very important. I like to automate that process. So as people come into our system after they use the very first offer, we're reaching out saying, hey, I know you came in. If you had a great experience, I'd love a great 5-star review. That's the best thing we could ever ask from a happy customer. So then we automate that through our email campaigns. I also automate our 5-star or the 5-star review campaign through Google, so we'll send something out to them that way as well. Even just sending out an email to your list. Like if you do this with Yelp, Yelp will catch on to it. I've had myself and other people red flagged in the past. Now Yelp can tell if they are going from an email to leave a good star review. They can track that with some kind of link. Yeah, I don't know how they've done it, but that's why I haven't done that with Yelp in probably over a year and a half. But you could easily do it with Google. Send out an email one day. You got 1,000 people. Hey guys, we got goal again, this month to get 15, 20, 30 5-star reviews. If you've been in recently, if you feel that we deserve a 5-star review, if you got 30 seconds today, it would be awesome if you could leave a great review for us. We do all we can with our VIP program and giving offers. We're all about delivering value to you. If you are able to deliver some value back to us for what we do for you, it would be amazing if you could just click this link. It'll pop right up. You can leave your review. You could do that with just an email broadcast. You could automate it, or even just asking for it on social media and running ads. So you could take your email list, your text list, anybody who recently signed up, and run ads directly to people, asking people to leave you a good review on Facebook for Google or on Facebook for Facebook. But again, the social proof of the, when you have more likes, when you have more 5-star reviews, I don't know the exact stats on them. I found them before. Everyone has their own stats, but consumers looking at that, it makes a big impact on how many reviews you have, for sure, especially in Google.
Definitely. And that's also something people, like you said, don't understand, is that not as many people you're getting, I think, is 2 to 4% of your viewers of your page are actually seeing your organic stuff. And then something I think people also don't understand is a lot of companies that have a page with 10, 20, 30, 40,000 likes, they are paying for those likes. You're running paid advertising to actually get the likes to the page. So those aren't necessarily organic. And then just one quick thing about, go ahead.
The other thing you could do too, like we've been doing this with our ladies night promotion. If you have giveaways and stuff that you're doing to entice people to leave 5-star review or to post picture, you could say, hey, we're going to give you 5 extra tickets to win this, or whatever it may be, while they're in your business, to leave a good review or something. So that's another way to get earned media reviews, is just by asking people there. Have your manager go around and ask 20 customers a day, hey, how was everything? Was it great? Would you mind? We'll give you 10% off on your bill, only if you feel we deserve a 5-star review. I'm not trying to buy your review, but if you feel we deserve a 5-star review, I'm happy to take 10% off your bill if you leave a 5-star review. Don't lie, be honest, and definitely. That's another great way to get more reviews too.
Okay, definitely. And then just one last thing about the different channels. How do you feel about using print marketing options? Do you think that can be successful for certain businesses, or do you think that can be a waste of money?
Every media works when you use it the right way and you can track and measure it. Even if I ran direct mail and I failed with it, but I could track it, I would still say I got value from it and I didn't lose on it because I learned what not to do. Maybe it was the offer, maybe it was what it looked like. I just recently ran a couple different promotions using direct mail with 2 different offers on there, which is done better than just having one type of offer on there. So direct mail definitely works. It's just, you got to have the right strategy in place. Obviously make sure there's kind of redemption process in place. But one thing that has worked really, really well is get a invitation, right? So when you're getting your mail, what's the bills, you got your A pile, B pile, C pile stuff that you just throw away, right? That, is junk mail. Well, spend a little bit more money, spend $1, $1.50 per mailer and do an actual invite if you're going after new customers, right? and create a nice looking invite. Like when they get it in the mail, the key to direct mail is getting it open, right? Just like an email. So
Exactly.
send out an invite in a card, and invite them in that, hey, we're looking to get new customers in the door, get them a free meal, whatever it is, but have it packaged looking like a real invite, which it is, and give them a gift card right inside of there to get them to come in the door. So direct mail works if you do it right. Postcards also work too. But I just feel that if you spend a little bit more, make it look personal. Have one of your, I used to have our servers. I haven't done this recently because Facebook and email, I haven't really had to use it a whole lot this way as far as the invites, but I used to do this a lot 3, 4, 5 years back. And when I first started running all new campaigns for Casey's a while back, but I would have our servers from 2 to 4 when it was slow in the business, personally hand write out these addresses on a number 10 envelope with a real live stamp. Make it look personal. If you're
absolutely,
it takes a little bit more time, but if your servers are already there, you're already paying them, there's no side work, there's not a whole lot to do, have them write out 50 envelopes,
Of course.
So direct mail works is just using it in the right way. And one tip, instead of just putting one offer on there, put 2 different offers on there that they can use, because that will bring some people in twice, or it will get people to at least come in once with one offer, but not the other. So if they didn't like the very first offer and there was only one on there, they're not coming in. But if they saw a second one that they liked a little bit better, that would work. And that's why the more broad offer works, of a percentage off on a tab or 10 off when you spend 30, those tend to convert a little bit better than saying, get this free specific burger or discount on the burger or whatever it may be.
Exactly. Okay. So now that we've kind of talked about the different channels and different tools that are like available out there for bars and restaurant owners, let's say I'm the owner of a small mom and pop bar in say a small to medium sized city. So if I'm going to use these tools, what would be maybe an average budget that I'm going to actually use if, say, I want to run, say, Facebook campaigns for an offer? What would you say is maybe an average size budget they're going to need?
I always like to tell people there is no budget.
Sure.
If you can show that you can spend $1 and get 3 back, spend $1 and get $10 back, there is no budget. I'll go to the bank all day and hand a 1 in to get $3 back, and I'll spend all day. So when people say, my budget's this, that's BS. They're not thinking the right way. They're thinking of marketing as a cost, not an investment. But it's because they don't really know the most profitable ways to make that happen. And so my advice is, like, when it comes to lead generation, you can track what it costs per lead. You can track when people come in the door, track your sales. If you are making more money than you're spending, and include your discounts, everything in there, even if you're breaking even, double it, triple it, spend more until you see that you can't really do it anymore with this offer, or you've hit enough people. So that's what I like to say about new customers. When it comes to you're just trying to keep your Taco Tuesday, your Wing Wednesday, whatever, you're promoting a band, you got to depend on, okay, what am I spending on this band, for example? And typically, how many people can I usually reach? If you're using video, you can get way more reach with video than you can with an image. I mean, you can probably hit double to triple the amount of people with a video for $100 than you could of just using an image of that band. So it all depends on what you plan on doing with that. And video is huge because, I do a lot of stuff just with my cell phone. Nothing crazy professional. Do it with your cell phone. Talk in. Be personal. Just be regular about it. Be yourself. So when it comes to that, I spend on average, it all depends on the event, but typically $50 a week on a specific night. But again, I'm only targeting my warm list of people who have done business with me or had an interest in doing business with me, So for the awareness style stuff, and we can't track that. We spend $50. Oh, we saw X amount of views, this and that. That really doesn't matter. You can use them as metrics. What matters is how much money came in the door. And we can't really track that unless it's a reservation, so I like doing a lot of stuff with reservations. And that's another thing I love about email. We'll come up with some random promotion or put some kind of meal on that we don't usually do and send out email, which doesn't cost us anything, and get them to book a reservation. We can track that. So reservations and stuff you can track, but just to say, hey, we got this, this Taco Tuesday going on, or we got this band coming up this Friday. Can't really track that unless, take a screenshot of this, show this, and don't charge cover at the door. Then they come in, but then you got a busy, packed place. How do you track how much that person spent? So there's a time and place of we're busy. We can't track every little thing from the marketing,
Sure.
but when it comes to new customers, absolutely have to track that.
Absolutely.
Because there are easy ways to go about doing that versus
Sure.
all these other things. Otherwise your staff would just go crazy trying to track 17 different offers and things going on in a given week.
For sure. No, and that's a good segue, because I definitely wanted to talk about what sort of tools you're using to actually track the success of this, to actually see if which specific offers are coming in for what, and to kind of let bar and restaurant owners know that what they're actually spending their money on, they're actually seeing a return. So what can you say recommendations for tools or how you're doing it?
There's a lot of different tools out there. I got a web developer who kind of helps a lot with just tracking stuff in Google spreadsheets and whatnot.
Sure.
Where it all comes down to is honestly, I use pretty much two medias, which is Facebook and Instagram, and email and texting. Well, those four. But when it comes to paid advertising, we can track the text message coming in. So we know, are they showing this on their cell phone? We know that they're coming in obviously from our text list. But with Facebook, you can track conversions, meaning if someone opts in to receive something, that you can track. But then if they bring it in-house in order to redeem it, you can put little buttons in your POS system for tracking to say, okay, Facebook 20% off offer or something. So when someone comes in and uses that, your POS system should be the tracking system, for that, to know whether, and just create a button for each specific offer that you're doing, and any POS system should be able to do that. And then you could just track that on a daily basis or run a weekly report, depending on how your system works. And that's what we used to do before, until I kind of had my developer put all this together, because now I want to see things in one place. How many people opted in? How many people actually redeemed? What were the sales there? Seeing it in one place instead of looking at some stats over here and some stats over here. But you don't need to have a crazy system like that in order to track your marketing these days. If you have offers in place where they have to redeem, or if people are calling in regarding a reservation, asking them, hey, where did you see this? Was this the newspaper? Did you get this in the direct mail? And it's just having the right follow-up of asking them where they, where they saw this offer to book a reservation. But it's always good to have some kind of tracking mechanism in place, so you know what's working and what's not. But the truth is, just some people are just too lazy to manage that. That's the truth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great. So one thing I was looking at on your website, it seems like you have a lot of success stories of people that you've worked with bar and restaurant success, or bar restaurant success, to actually help them kind of improve their business. What would you say is maybe your favorite success story with helping maybe a struggling business to turn their luck around and generating more revenue?
Okay, I helped one kind of a fine dining restaurant named Cullen's there in Houston, Texas area. Fortunately, not around anymore. One of the owners passed, I think it was like 5-6 years ago, and the other owner just didn't keep things going. But this was about 6 years ago, where we built a database for him, used that 50% off offer up front. He also had another email list of about 4,000 people. Long story short, we had an email list of about a total of 7,000 people, where we sent out, it's my 3-step email campaign for booking parties and events. And pretty much we sent that out saying, hey, we're doing these party packages. Do you want one? If so, we're only doing this for so long. Fill out this form if you want one. And just got the whole email list to raise their hand and say, hey, I want to have a party at your business. I'm going to bring people into your business for you. Here's my information. Here's the date that we would like to come in. Not that they were guaranteed to get it. And pretty much we got all this information. And then he had 3-4 different servers and managers calling and following up, getting confirmed bookings. They did like 200 and some parties, and they said give or take 5,000 or so. They did $59,625 in sales from sending out these 3.
Wow.
I've done the same thing with these 3 emails for another one. Guy, Ground Round Restaurant in Waconia, Minnesota. They did almost $30,000 in sales from the same type of offer, same campaign, just sending out emails to them to get them to book these parties. And he's in a town of 15,000 people, but generated a little over 30 grand in sales.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
One of the most recent ones, is a place called Burger Box. This is that front end 50% off, get up to $20 off offer. We ran $994 in Facebook ads to drive people to this landing page to get this offer. He had 592 redemptions in 15 days and did in net sales, not gross sales, net sales at $12,164 or something like that on $100. So a little over 12,000% ROI on their Facebook ads.
Yeah. No, and I saw you had one success story where basically your client actually asked you to turn off the landing page because he was getting too many calls.
What was his name? Justin. He was from Players. Styles. That was a while ago. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. That's when nobody was really using Facebook ads, and we just drove so many people there. There's people coming in. He couldn't handle the business. I had another client like that out on the East Coast. His wife got upset with me because they kept running out of product. She had to go to the grocery store because they kept going through stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun doing this kind of stuff because you bring a promotion that nobody's done before in the area. Your competition thinks you're nuts for doing it, for giving that kind of offer away because they're not thinking of the long-term strategy, right? They understand you're breaking even on the front end, but if you believe that 1 out of every 5 people are going to come back a second, third, fourth time, which they should if you're doing a good enough job, you're going to make a hell of a lot more money on the back end. And another quick way to get these people back in is give them a bounce back offer. Once they come in, now, hey, next time you come in within 7 days, put an expiration date on there, give them 7 days to use that next offer for 25% off, So now that brings them in again within another week, much less of a discount, but now you got them in a second time within 2 weeks, and chances of them coming back a third, fourth time are very likely, No,
that's great. Cool. So we're almost out of time, but before we get going, what kind of stuff do you like to do for fun, Nick? What kind of things do you like to do when you're not running your bar and doing bar and restaurant success?
I like to vacation and I like to be with my kids. So I got a 4-year-old daughter, I got a 13-year-old son. So, when we're in the Midwest, so wintertime, we're not really doing a whole lot. So we like to get out and take vacations, get to warmer weather. Other than that, we're soon to be building our pool and everything. So this summer, just be hanging out back and grilling out, swimming with the kids, and golfing's always a good time as well. So
absolutely.
Golf and just get out of town, just get out of town and spend time with the family and going up north sometimes. And that's about it. So,
yeah, no, that's great. And like you said in your website, when you start automating your processes, you're actually working less, right? So, maybe instead of I'm working 80 hours at the bar, you're working 5 hours a week and going to the Bahamas, like you said on your website. So,
it's all about, you got to have systems in place. You got to have a marketing system for attracting customers, keeping them coming back. You have to have a system for hiring, firing, a system for training people. There's that. Think of a franchise and why a franchise outbeats any other small business. It's a proven system built on multiple systems that are proven to work and that are just followed. So, that's the key to businesses for any owner is like, how do you create all these systems to where the business runs itself and it doesn't run you, where you could leave for 2 weeks and is continuing to make you money so you can go live a life on your own, and that's key. It's not easy. I've gone through a lot of trial and error figuring it out.
Definitely.
It's been a bumpy road, but you just learn from each little lesson.
Absolutely. Great. Well, that's our time for today. Nick, where can our listeners find you? And if you have anything you want to promote, please go ahead and do so.
Yeah, if they want to go to just barrestaurantsuccess.com, I got a couple different free reports on there. My book is on there as well, How to Attract New Customers and Turn Them into Raving Fans. It's $30 on Amazon, so you can buy it on Amazon. Otherwise, if you go to brsbook.net, I pretty much give it away for free. You just pay $5.95 for the shipping and handling. Read the book, and that's kind of my thing that I use for when people read it and get value from it and they don't want to do all the work and they want me to just do it for them. That's kind of how I generate leads there, and I offer all my clients 1,000% ROI on the first promotion that I run for them, or I give them their money back. So
no, that's great, and we'll put up those links in our show recap.
Okay.
So thanks again, Nick, for your time. We really appreciate it. Again, I'm Adam Marsden. Thanks for everyone for listening to the Industry Buzz powered by Buzztime. We'll see you again soon.
Awesome. Appreciate it.